Good evening. My name is Aman Raj, and I am here to present a Power BI dashboard on sericulture data of India from the year 2017-18 to 2024-25. This data has been prepared using the data which was available on Central Serial Port Bengaluru website. So as you can see, this is a Power BI dashboard on which I have summarized the year-wise data of the silk production in the country. So before proceeding, let us go back and look how the original data was. So as you can see, this is the original data which was available on the website, which was in PDF format. Now this data was converted into a tabular form in Microsoft Excel. You can see the PDF data was converted into this type of data using the Power Query option in Microsoft Excel. Now this data was converted into a graphical form using Power BI. So this is the data we are talking about. So as you can see here, this is the data of 2017-18. In 2017-18, the total import of raw silk was 1,218 crores, and the total raw silk production was 31,906 metric tons. As you can see from the graph, that 73% of the mulberry silk production in India was multi-volatile, and 26.62% of mulberry production in India was bivolatile. When we look at the graph of imports and exports, 30% of the silk produced in India was exported, and almost 70% of the silk was imported into India. So if we are going to look at the Vanya silk production in this graph, the majority of the share was the Aries spun yarn. After that, it was taken by Tussar silk yarn, which is about 30%, and then it was Muga raw silk, which was around 1.95%. So this is the data of 2017 and 18. So when we will click here and click 2018-19 data, as you can see, the graphs have changed. Now in 2018-19, the import of raw silk was 1,041 crores, and the employment it generated was 91.78 lakhs. So when we are going to look at the import and export of silk, you can see that the import has reduced and export has increased compared to the previous year. So when we look at the 2019-20 data, you can see here that the exports has reduced and the imports have increased compared to the previous data. Here you can see in earlier one, it was 35%. Now it is 42%. Now, when we look at 2020 and 22 data, the import of raw silk is again decreasing. In 21 and 22, the raw silk import has increased a little bit. In 22-23, the import of raw silk has again increased from 8,800 crores to 1,714 crores. And as you can see, the import of silk has again increased and the export of silk has decreased. So when we look at the latest data, which is of 2024 to 2025, the multi-volatile silk production occupied around 70% of the total mulberry silk production in the country, and bivolatile silk production comprised of around 30% of total mulberry silk production in the country. So here you can see that the employment is zero. It does not mean that there was no employment. Simply it is that the data is not available. And when we look at the total Vanya silk production, we can see that around 95% of the Vanya silk production was from Aries spun yarn. And when we look at this data, then we are going to see that the mulberry silk production is all-time high compared to the Vanya silk production. And the total mulberry plantation area we can see here. And when we click on this button, we get the total data from 2017-18 to 2024-25, which says that between these years, there was total import of raw silk of 8,263 crores, and it generated around 634.22 lakh employment. And during the same period, the total import of raw silk was 60% and total export of silk was around 40%. So thank you.